Gummed up, brain dead, can't decide. You can't breathe up, you can't hide. You can be cool or you can cry. Do it wrong, not at all, or do it right. No one owes you, no one's to blame. Sit for bad genes or DNA. Ask your conscience the why and how. Do it then, do it when, but do it now. What's up, sweet cakes? Who's here? Anyway, easy. What you gonna do? A little buckaroo. Yeah, you gotta do. People is asking now. No, we all can be super fly. GQ, PhD, FBI. You can greet, send them, you can try. Move ahead, lay down dead, or stick on by.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of No Cap Gaming. We're on episode 19 already, and we have a crazy space for you today. If you're joining us on the stream, say hi. If you're joining us on the space, please repost the room and do all of the magic, like following all of the amazing people up here. We have a stray Luke in the house. We have some fantastic people. We've got Tarish, we've got Balcor from Scale. We've actually got Scale themselves listening. How cool is that? I'm definitely going to just do all of the magic on that side. So anyway, let's get into this. And what I want to do is I want everyone to, I'm adding you, Scout. How am I not following you? That's weird. Break the ice with the first question. What's your earliest memory of being hooked on a game? So we're going to introduce and give me your earliest memory of being hooked on a game. And I'm going to throw it open. Anyone who wants to just join in.
Lemmings. Damn it.
Yes.
I want to say that Lemmings.
Oh my God, throwback.
on Amiga, like where you still had to switch out the discs for saving games and all that kind of stuff. Lemmings, Prince of Persia. Those are the first ones that I played on Amiga. But okay, I'm not sure if Snake was before or after. I think it was after that. But those games are core memory of my childhood. So, yeah.
How to say you're old without saying you're old, kind of, right?
Oh, bro. Oh my God. All right. What's your introduction? You just jumped straight into the games and didn't even say who was talking or why.
Sorry, you said who wants to go first, and I was so excited to tell you my games. I mean, I could go on forever. I have my Nintendo hooked up here with Mario Kart and you name it, Double Dash and all those. I have so many games that I was hooked on. I was addicted to most of the Nintendo games. But yeah, I'm Luke. I do marketing and PD for Medieval Empires. I wear cool knight's armor, and that's it. I don't think need no further introduction. Shout out to the cool people also down there. I see HHMC, long time no see. What's happening there? I didn't see you in ages, but thanks for having me. And Mr. Console, long time no speak.
And Mr. Console's always here. And I think since you've tagged him in, Mr. Console, when were you first hooked on the game? Give us your intro and tell us your first memories of pixel addiction.
Bonjour. Shout out to you, Luke. Happy to have you joining us on the spaces. I believe the first game I got hooked on truly was PES 2010. I guess that also exposes my age. That game was magic. I remember hiding from my folks just to play it. My mom somewhat issuing death threats because we haven't done chores. We've only been playing all day. I loved it. I loved it because as a young athlete, I really aspired to play football. And it was actually one of the first games that I experienced my PS3 console with. So it was very immersive. I essentially gained a social life from that because I'd also have very somewhat free spirited parents that would allow anybody and everybody that I brought back home on Friday for a sleepover. And that's the game we'd play. We'd play and play and play. Good memories, buddy. I feel like a child again thinking about that. That game was really it. The graphics wasn't, looking at it now, top notch, but
Well,
it,
for
it
the
did it.
time, come on.
Yeah.
It
At
was
that
proper.
time, that didn't matter. Even if you're kicking the ball through the net, it didn't. What mattered was just scoring and getting wins over your friends and just playing ball virtually, a sport you already enjoy physically. That's that game for me, buddy.
I'm just wondering
that's
why
awesome.
it's PES over FIFA. I started.
Yeah, the
FIFA
early
in
FIFA games.
95. FIFA, I think
Yes.
it was 95. That was
Yeah,
the one.
Sega Mega Drive or Genesis, FIFA 95.
Yeah, don't forget Euro '96. I think that was on the Mega Drive. That one was great. That one was top.
I was going to say Brian Lara Cricket on the Mega Drive or Genesis.
Oh, what about
Classic
F1
game.
'97? What a good racing game. You could have Murray Walker commentating, and you can actually turn up the insanity as well. With half the race gone, there's half the race to go.
Was that like 4 pixels? Like
was
how many
at
pixels
least
were
7.
actually on the 7? Yeah, okay.
I mean, they had triangles, probably about 1,500 per car, but it had destruction, right? So you could actually lose a wheel. And there were challenges even. And there was like a gold F1 car that was insane. You couldn't drive it around Monaco, you just explode. It was very good times. But yeah. We've got so many people in his house today.
We've got Doug Hype
in there. Hey, Doug.
Yeah, let me
Hey,
bring him
quickly.
up quickly because he's on the he's on the
Oh,
stream.
he's-
Yeah, we can't
but he
hear
ain't
you
on the
yet.
space.
Doug. Can't hear you yet. We need to bring you up.
Yeah, you need to invite to
Accept the
space.
invite.
Whoa, baby!
Invite. While
Are
we're
you guys
waiting
ready
for
to
Doug,
rock and
let's
roll? I turn
let's
my
introduce
mic on.
someone else up here. We
Wait,
have
Doug. You have to speak on the spaces, not on the stream.
yeah, Doug.
He's excited. I can feel it. I heard his voice on the stream.
No, he is excited. But do we have space for Doug? We do.
Oh yeah, we do. There he is.
Yay, there's Doug.
Okay, give us your excitement, Doug.
You gotta speak on your phone.
I still can't hear you.
Unmute on your
on
phone.
the phone, man, on the
It's
spaces.
because he's muted.
Yeah, on the
Unmute on
spaces.
spaces. Oh my god.
Let's let Taris give himself an
Yeah.
intro while we're waiting for Doug.
Yeah,
Taris,
for real.
what's your first memory of being hooked to a game?
Oh man, there's so many good games from when I was a kid. Probably the biggest addiction I had were games like Oregon Trails, where you had to make a decision and get to your destination, like your goal. But growing up, as they started to progress and as you started to get into like deeper like RPG mechanics, I'd probably have to say like Final Fantasy and Legends of Dragoon were my two favorite. But yeah, I'm a community guy. I do the community management for CJ and Friends. Co-founder with Maddox for Dream Test Labs, testing out games, platforms, and other things in the Web3 or Web2 space, wherever we can make a paycheck. But yeah,
That's good.
avid gamer, so looking forward to the conversation today.
Awesome. Do we have Doug in the house or not? I don't know yet.
Give it a second for him to unmute on spaces. Let's see.
I think we might be getting Luke to join us on the stream as well. Have we got enough spaces for Luke to join
Yeah.
us on the stream?
I think so.
Yep.
Hey,
Yeah,
Doug.
just
Everyone
are you
in
there?
the audience, you can come up, get on the stage, get on the stream.
Oh,
We'll
he's,
just have a
he's
full
rejoining.
clan.
He's having some technical issues with spaces.
Never mind. But yeah, I must also echo that sort of the RPG mentality really sucked me in. I remember Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. That was one that I actively stayed home from school pretending to be sick because I wanted to get all 100 Skulltulas before anyone else. And there wasn't even a guide for it when I got them. And people were like, "Oh, you just read the guide."
Or get all the stars in Super Mario 64. Now that was a challenge.
A mission. That was a mission.
121 of them, and there were secret ones.
Yep. There was some tricky Skulltulas as well. There was 100 Skulltulas, and you had to have the Stone of Agony, which was essentially the rumble pack, and it would rumble when you could find something, and then you'd have to like hit the ground and find a hidden space. And there's some pretty cool shiznit in there. Taris, I see your hand.
I did have to say, you said there were no guides. They had those guides back then. We didn't have the internet where you could just go and look, and like the moment
they came out after
the game. No, but they had the magazines that they would release.
Yeah, like Game Republics and all that.
They did. They didn't have the Skulltulas in there on the release day. I know. I lived that pain. The guide came out just as I got back from school with 96 Skulltulas, and people then accused me of going to the guide. I hadn't bought the guide, did it myself, and that memory burns within my soul.
It's like when you played World of Warcraft for the first time, right? You have no guides or anything, leveling up, and then when you got to like level 57, you have no quests left, and you have to go to Silithus and just go kill mobs for 2 weeks straight. Like,
that was amazing.
It was still, I think, the greatest experience of all time in gaming.
They've got Luke, Link to the Past. Is that you're showing us on SNES? Classic.
Yeah, that is one of my absolute favorites.
I preferred Mystical Ninja actually on SNES, but it's still both amazing games. Falcor, what's obviously joining us from Scale? Thank you for joining us. What about you? You're a bit younger than the rest of us, so it's going to be something.
He said World of Warcraft, bro.
World of Warcraft was I definitely.
It's World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I think it's World of Warcraft. Yeah, and then Call of Duty after that, really. Yeah.
Oh, you one of those?
Yeah, brother. Come on.
Let's get some Call of Duty lovers in the house.
The Call of Duty back in the day was incredible. Now it sucks.
The early ones are brilliant.
Yeah.
Groundbreaking.
Pretty much anything up until Ghosts. And past Ghosts, it's questionable as hell. Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm Falcor. I'm the head of community over at Scale.
Welcome
to the Warp Sides. It's all good. It's all good here.
Pleasure to be here. I like being around fellow Brits. There's not many of us.
We have an enclave.
Yeah, I appreciate how this is my home now. This is where I'm going to be.
Yeah. Also on-chain Brits as well, which is pretty fun. I've seen a few people from there.
If you're tuning into the space, you should come tune into the stream. We've got 8 of us now on the screen. It's not that pretty. I mean, Luke's very pretty, obviously, but it's fun. Got so many people on the screen today.
It's a record, actually. So it's a record this week.
Record spaces. I saw a Dougie Hans shoot up. I also saw David Blomqvist in his house. So yeah, Doug, can you speak? No, we can't hear you, Doug.
What is
speaking on space,
mobile, man?
He's just speaking on space. Lito, you got your hand up.
So, Matt, team.
Yes.
While waiting for Doggy to get some voice, right? Lovely Doggy. I love Doggy on this one. I'm going to take you back to the past, right? Is there anyone else but me that remember Philips 7000 and Space Monsters?
Space Monsters. What?
You have to look this up. This is what was my
first game. Are you talking
game.
Atari days? Like early
Spectrum, maybe?
Atari wasn't even founded back then, right?
You're talking about games before games, dude.
Now we're talking
before Pong, guys.
A spinning top.
Look that up. Space Monsters Philips 7000. That's when I was born and raised with that lovely game. My father was like forcing me to play it over and over again. That got me into this.
Comes up with a beard trimmer now if I search Philips 7000.
Yeah, I was just going to think. I was like, what is that? Is that a massager or what is that exactly? Philips 7000.
Oh wow, look at that! It looks like a even more rudimentary than a Spectrum.
Space Monster.
It's like a station.
It's like Space Invaders, guys.
Yes,
That
it's
is
an early version of that one. Exactly.
Wow.
Lovely
That's
to be
crazy.
around.
No, I love that game, and I did play it on arcades.
Mm.
I'm not as young as people think.
8-bit,
That's so good.
1978.
I've got a really random question. Do we have Destiny being played on in the background?
Yes, because this is one of the games that's been extracting on their community. So topic is build a game or farm a community, and I feel like Destiny has become, the ultimate farm for developers.
Yeah, no, we're definitely getting into it already. I like Lito. Did you have a chance to say hi? I saw a hand briefly.
Oh, hello. No, I want to say, dude, of course, I've said the week previous that I was first in love with Pokemon and then RuneScape, but there was a game in between that. I don't know if you guys remember Adventure Quest. I'm telling you, that was the first Flash Quest, Flash game that really took me. I didn't talk to my middle school girlfriend at the time because of it. It was bad. It took all my attention. But if we're talking about extracting, building a game or farming a community, dude, I feel like a lot of MMOs are farming communities nowadays. When you look at all these things like, hey, you can pay this to level up this amount, or you can pay this to have this kind of gear. I feel like MMOs, when I think of extraction, that's one of the first things I think about.
Yeah, no, and for real, I think one of the things that's happened is that people have got I know it's a bit of a joke that attention spans have got worse. I think developer attention spans have got worse. I think the attention span of a developer to expect money from people has got worse. People want these people to monetize in the first 15 seconds. People want to bring out an MMO and instantly have them able to boost themselves to the end game content. It's like, bro, did you know how long it took me to model all of those fucking plants in RuneScape? You are fucking looking at them. I'm sorry, but you're going to have to walk past them and interact with that NPC. The amount of pain and horror and sweat that goes into making fucking hundreds of barrels. It's even worse when they don't release the game. But even when they do, the fact that you can just skip all of these quests, it just makes grown beardy ginger men cry. So I think that's one of the things that people have got to get used to is people actually liked Bloodborne and games like that when they actually brought back difficulty as if it was a new concept. Just oh, look, games can be difficult. I remember games used to be so fucking rock hard. One of the hardest games ever was fucking Lion King on Mega Drive. I don't know if anyone played that, but there was a particular sort of weird double jump on level 3 that I think 99 point whatever percentage never got past because you just had to make this insane jump or complete the entire level again. And
I
that
have
one,
PTSD on collecting bugs, by the way. Okay, I have PTSD.
Brutality. Yeah, but no, that's games in the past used to challenge us. I remember playing RuneScape. At RuneScape, I was playing Tomb Raider. And there was this one point where you could actually get the magnums on level 6 or something if you killed this Pierre guy and you had to stop him escaping. You basically had to fill the guy so full of lead that he couldn't move anymore. It was like you had to kill him with lead poisoning. You shot him that many times. The guy died of lead poisoning, not of the actual bullet wounds. But yeah, it was some brutality back in the day.
By the way, Matt, just want to show you what I found. My wife got me this as a gift.
Amazing.
So you have a mini, a mini arcade machine where you can play all those games. I'm not sure who mentioned the space shooter thing, but you can play that on such mini consoles.
I have something.
Look at this.
Retro bullshit as well.
Or are we becoming show and tell? Arrow, save us.
Get our collections out. Get our collections out.
Where the flip did I put that? I don't know. Maybe I'll find it. Maybe I won't. Maybe it's where my daughter's sleeping. I actually have a Game & Watch. I actually have a Nintendo Game & Watch.
Classic. Which one is it?
It was Donkey Kong. It's still absolutely mint condition as well. Yeah.
You guys are making me open my chest here that I have, which I keep close to my PC. very
Mhm.
close, and it always stays. I haven't opened it like past years. I'll show you what I can pull out of this thing.
Oh, the magic of the chest. I didn't know this was going to turn into show and tell. Maybe someone should have told me.
Well, should have. I should get the
I
sound.
think we should stop because I have everything right here. Like there's everything
Oh
full
my
of
God.
stuff, so I could go on for hours just
The
show
thing is,
tell.
I could pick up games that I think are modern and they'd probably be older than half of Web3. Swear to God. They're like, look at this. This is a Nintendo DS. And they're like, oh, what's this ancient tech? Fuck this. Man,
Wait, when did the DS come out? Because
I don't want to know anymore, man.
Very concerned.
Yeah, no, it's scary. Like there are literal people younger than PlayStation 2s with Philip Boutiques on their arms, rugging people constantly, and that's
Web3 people. They don't know the pain of plugging 7 wires from a Commodore 64 into your shitty fucking brain box television, and then loading these cassettes for hours just to play a game, and then it failing.
Oh man,
like those were the days.
Red, white, and blue. Was it?
Red, white, and yellow.
Red, white, and yellow.
Yeah.
And then the Xbox
colorblind.
360 had those 2 extra ones, didn't they?
Yep. Yeah, no, Xbox 360, Red Rings of Death. That was some great times when you first get it home. And you're like, yeah. When you
have to put it in the freezer.
My life, no. You just had to take it back and get a new one. That was brutal. But yeah, we are already fast approaching halfway. So I want to get a bit more into the topic. Can we finally hear Doug? I hear Doug rustling. Mysterious Doug rustling.
We can't see his hands. That's a bit worrying.
Dougie, are you there, buddy? Nope. Oh,
can he even hear us?
I don't know, man. He's gone now.
We had this last time.
listening.
Doug was on one of our streams. He just sat there giving us a show. Didn't even know he was on the stream.
That's all good. All right, then. Moving swiftly on and carrying on. Oh,
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can, Dougie.
I swear to God, I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a time period, maybe like a year ago, where Twitter Spaces were just complete trash, and for some reason, in the last 2 days, it's just been my experience in Twitter Spaces. Not just me, other people too. Has just been complete like disaster. So I apologize for all the technical issues, but it's Elon's fault.
Yeah, no worries on that, Doug. And what was the game that first hooked you, my friend? What first got you into pixelated crack?
Like very, very first game, like went out like ever in my entire life.
Yeah, the first game that you were like, oh, this is good.
When I was really little, probably the Mario games, like Mario, Super Mario Brothers, like so many of the Nintendo games. When I'm the age where like when Nintendo first hit the United States and was a big thing, I was probably like, I don't know, 7, 8 years old, maybe 9, around there, those years. And from Mario Brothers, River City Ransom, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, DuckTales, all those games were amazing. And all, like you said, a lot of those games were hard. Like you had to like play them forever to try to beat these games, even though they weren't like physically maybe that long, but they were just really difficult. Like Goonies. I remember some of these games, I think it was the Goonies, where like you would flip between different levels and you had no idea how to even get to where you needed to go. It was so hard to figure out. All those are so good. But the game that I remember sitting down and playing like continually forever, like nonstop without stopping, was probably the Madden games and Gran Turismo, like when PlayStation 2 came out and stuff like that. And Final Fantasy 7, like all those games I spent a crazy amount of times playing. And then of course, eventually Grand Theft Auto.
Oh yeah. GTA was one of those amazing time suck games where
running down those monks.
Yeah, that was the OG one. But the first 3D ones, when you were like, all right, now I'm just gonna drive around using it as my personal destruction sandbox. Oh, what do you got there, Jesus? No
the
way.
N64 NFL quarterback.
Nice.
That looks very mint. Jesus, look at you, Mr. Clifton.
That is a collection. Yeah.
That is definitely a good collection. I mean, I think the main reason for us wanting to talk about the space is, I mean, it feels like in Web3 especially, but just in general, that everything in life at the moment just feels like everyone's tightening the fucking screws. Like you're getting nickeled and dimed for basically anything. Like you go to the shop, everything's more fucking expensive. You go to a game, and it's like maybe the game costs the same on the surface, but now there's like a million billion other things. It starts with you go onto the PlayStation store, and there's like 11 different downloads. There's like on the Nintendo store, 13 different versions of the same fucking $2 game or $20 game, and then there's like the elite version, and then there's the pre-orders. I think pre-orders was one of the most horrifically extracting things. When they put things in the pre-order you couldn't subsequently obtain, just riled me, man. It riled me.
I mean, like all the big games, like the Madden games and stuff, I've played a lot. Like even now, they're like pre-ordered and bundled, and the games are like the loot boxes and the stuff in games are so expensive that like now you don't even think that the actual game itself is expensive. You're like, oh, the game's like 70, 80, $100, but when you're in the game, people are spending like thousands of dollars for like almost no reason. They just is stupid.
I mean, it's crazy, like the sort of loot boxification and stuff. It's like I clearly, you know what? I blame Apple and Android for this. And do you know what I blame? Weirdly enough, I blame them setting the price of an app for free or a game for free, because as soon as you had free games, then anyone could put a game there. And if they put a game there, and you had a paid game that was like, I don't know, $2.99 or something, people would play the free game because there was so much. The discoverability in the early days of the App Store was so good. It was fucking fantastic that if you put a game up, people would see it. Even if it was a new, random, shitty game, people would see that game. Like throwing paper into a bin or anything like that. And what happened is you ended up with, if your game was paid, you would die. And that's it. There was a brief period, maybe at the very start, where people would pay even up to $5 for a game, but that is over. They tried to bring it back with the fact that Apple just generally hates gamers and games and people that aren't, you know, wearing lovely Patagonia hoodies and running peacefully on beaches with white Labradors. They hate every fucker who isn't that, especially if you want to sit inside and enjoy yourself with a game or play Dungeons and Dragons. Anyone who reminds them of Steve Wozniak needs shooting in their book. So I think that whole thing of you can't have a game now that people charge for. So you have to have a free game. Of course, if you want a free game, you have to make money on that free game. So you invented and spawned this entire free-to-play industry, which then completely fucked everything else. If the default price of the game on mobile had always and forever like $5 or $10, and there was no free slot on there, I think it would be a very different industry. But alas, now we have free to play, and we have some of the best games are free to play. I mean,
Actually,
a lot of games.
it's even worse, Matt. Now we have early access. You get to play a game that's not even finished.
Oh, the love of that. I mean, playing a game that's not even finished is what built the mobile
And you get
industry.
the chance to buy things before other people and spend money before the game's even out.
Yeah, I want to say Web3 fixes this, but we do this before the game's even fucking built.
No, we make it just worse with what we do.
100% worse. It's like, you can play early access. People bitch about early access. Like, no, you can buy things before we've even started coding.
You can own the assets before they're even in a game.
You get the chance to be stuck in our game and spend more money before everyone else.
Yeah, and we're not going to release the game. Enjoy that shit. I mean, but seriously, like we got to do something about that. We got to change the narrative and get less extractive. But how do we do it? How do we do it?
You want to know something crazy? Think about this. Okay, so remember when we had like video game arcades and stuff, and that was like a big deal, NBA Jam, all that stuff or whatever, Golden Axe and stuff. And there's a guy that has a YouTube show where he plays the games and he simulates how much it would cost in quarters to beat each of those games. And in my head, I'm like, oh, it's got to be like $40 or something. Because as a kid, a lot of those games seem really tough. Most of them, it's like $5, like in quarters to beat the game. And I'm like, I'm like, I guess when I was a kid, $5 felt like it was like, you know, so expensive.
But what about inflation? Does he do inflation adjusted dollars?
I'm not sure he probably does, but it's, you know, it's like $4 or $5 to beat the game. But in my head as a kid, $4 or $5 was like a big deal. It was like, that's like, oh, I could buy a house for that.
I mean, bro, I could spend like $4 getting murdered by Dalsim before I actually had the game on console. Like, seriously, and console was such a weird idea. If you were actually proposing that at the time, it'd be like, all of these arcade machines that are making shit tons of money. What we're going to do is we're going to make a tiny, tiny box, sell it at a loss, and then sell the games at a loss. And that's going to be really effective, and you can play any games on it. People would have been like, all right, out, get out now. You sit by the window. But every iteration of gaming, it has weirdly got less expensive in a way. So console games felt at the time less expensive because of the replay value than going to the arcade. And then we have PC games where you actually have subscriptions where you don't even have to pay for the entire game all at once. Then we have free-to-play games on mobile. So it only makes sense that eventually we will pay you to play the games. But we forgot that in each one of these things, they earned more money than the last iteration. So we need to get away from the giveaway and more for the earning. And I think it's perfect time to get back into that. But I will just reset the room for a second. Since we have a massive, massive panel up here, I'd like you all to share the space, get people involved, follow everyone on the stream, comment with your favorite gaming memory. I want to see those favorite gaming memories. Best comment is going to win something fantastic potentially. So let's do it. And now back again, like the Renegade Master, back once again with the ill behavior. I'm going to hand it over to what the hell do we do? What the hell do we do about it? Scale, you must know a few things about gaming. Tell us, fam.
I'm on so many Twitter accounts right now. I'm like, I couldn't find the right unmute button. How do we fix it? Stop giving them money. Like, unfortunately,
imagine that. Minds are blown.
Kind of the big thing, right? I remember at the Game Awards when Baldur's Gate 3 pretty much swept everything. And the head developer came out and said, we need to bring passion back to gaming. We need to be making games that we as developers are passionate about, and as gamers they're also going to be passionate about, right? And stop focusing on these very, very small life cycles, and start taking time, start taking effort, and really also trying to innovate as well. And Baldur's Gate 3, I would happily pay £100 for that game.
I mean, yeah, it's a fantastic achievement as well. And I think one of the things, like when people say about passion in the craft, is people forget that one thing that Web3 is meant to be good at is sticking around, we have decentralized systems so that these things can be kind of permanent. We have NFTs so that whatever happens, we have these things available for your use long after the game is there. So why not take the time? Why not take the time to innovate and do things? And usually the answer is money. Either too much went in or not enough went in, depending on your side of it.
I think it comes from expectations as well, right? I think expectations are super important. When 2021, when we had all of these, play to earn NFT games coming out, and then we started seeing VC dollars be pumped in, and then we started having artificial, analytics and bots and engagements and shillers, and all of this stuff made the entire industry just unrealistic, right? Yep. Like, you can go look at any Web3 game out there that for some reason has like 500,000 followers, and you're like, yeah, there's not even 100,000 Web3 gamers. Like, let's be serious here.
100%. And also, it's like even the VCs like begging people, you've got to pump your followers, you've got to fake this. It's like, for what reason? They don't give you money. Like, fake followers don't give. I think when we got away from the idea of making a game, that the game itself and people playing the game would drive the engine of value. Once we got away from that idea that actually the real value was people constantly throwing shit tons of money at this game for nothing really, I think everything changed. Like, it's really, I miss having games with deep lore that you want to get into and you want to do all of that, and they just don't play well here at the moment. We're in a weird sort of space right now where there are some gamers on the outside. There are some gamers who are willing to watch this place burn down. And I think a good part of it has burnt down. But I really do think from the ashes, something better's got to come. Harris, I know you're very outspoken on this sort of stuff.
You saw the look on my face, I guess.
Yeah.
what games do we actually have that have in-depth lore?
In Web3.
Yeah.
I guess the Bornless was trying to go there, but I just think they don't exist anymore, or do they?
No, they still exist. Boneless is still around. But
They went
I
kind of
haven't
Web
like
2,
seen,
didn't they?
I think they were like a Web 2.5 kind of setup. They weren't going full Web 3, I don't think. But like realistically, in the market right now, in the gaming industry for Web 3, not only are we less than 10 years old, we don't have much in the way of like really in-depth like hardcore gamer games. We've got degen games. We've got games that inspire people to spend money, like you said. We don't have games with really good replayability loops. We don't have games with, and if they do have really good replayability loops, they have heavy monetization and a heavy gear towards the speculative aspects of the game and the market. We've as a niche gaming industry within Web3, like we're a niche within a niche, and they're trying to cater more to the speculative aspects, the people who are trying to spend money to make money, than they are catering to people that are looking for really solid hardcore games. We've started to see some shift away from that with like shooters. We're seeing OTG. Shrapnel was one of them, sadly enough. We were seeing some quality games starting to come out with good gameplay mechanics and like a fun replayable loop that gamers could really get into. But again, like now we're seeing with OTG, we're seeing like the controversy around them starting to stray towards like Solana. The speculative aspects negatively influence the gameplay and the fun aspects of what gaming is. And so long as we cater more and more towards the speculation side, we're just going to hurt as an industry.
I agree. And when we see things like Shrapnel going to Gala, and when we see things like, like Off the Grid moving from Avalanche to potentially having Solana and all of this kind of stuff. And the question is like,
wait, is that a real thing, or are we just like making?
I don't think they're moving. Yeah,
they're not moving. They're just going to do a Solana token, or they were saying about having a Solana token, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, because I think we're putting way more weight behind this than it is, because they have had Bored Ape skins and all kinds of stuff. They're just doing a lot of stuff. I don't think it really has anything to do with it.
Is it not just a liquidity play?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
This
I think
is
they just want to have
exactly
that token live on another chain, don't they?
Yeah. I think this is just the thing. It's like a lot of people get caught up in the fact that we have so many chains that are businesses in their own right, and they have their own things that they need to do, and they need to attract games to them, and games need money to make the games. And then you get into this weird sort of like merry-go-round where the games are constantly like leaving chains and going into different chains because they're getting better offers or they're getting money given to them. And it's like, to be honest, at this point, if you can't make your game work on one chain, like how much money is it really going to take your game to work? Because most of the time, you'd be happy with a decent launch. If you can make your money back on that launch, then you get to make another game. I swear to God, like half the people would make their money back on these things. They actually just made the thing that they intended to make in the first place and just produced it, as opposed to just trying to constantly get new sources of income, which I think is partially why this is never ending. I mean, I
want to pass this to Luke at this point, because when you talk about lore and games lacking depth and things like that in Web3, I think Medieval Empires is up there in terms of depth, complexity, things you can play with.
No, I pass it to Medieval Empires because they don't have any lore and no depth, and they're shitty and they hop from chain to chain and just do fancy stuff. No, I mean,
you've been around for a while and you're still building. You've got mobile version now. It's these are quite big steps, and you've been around for a long time. Like a lot of studios have been and gone to several chains in that same time, and you just carried on.
Yeah, some people hop from chain to chain because they're chasing either hype or users. Like there was a time where people went to Ronin because they want to experience the Ronin effect, especially because of pixel players. And then Avex had a good run after Off the Grid went there, and Shrapnel. So a lot of people went there. Then Abstract came around the corner, so everyone wanted to be the first one on Abstract. which is fine. I think choosing a chain is something, but the hopping is the stuff that I always didn't understand, because they get a grant, I get that. Maybe they do one NFT collection there, but I also don't understand the chains that, like, it feels like they are bitches from time to time, just taking everyone, similar to like Gala did with Shrapnel. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of that, but leave it be. We focus on, we also went on Immutable after, like, originally we started on Polygon, but we went on Immutable because they have the Passport wallet, and Polygon didn't focus on gaming anymore. And we wanted to have a wallet that caters towards gamers, mass adoption, like single sign-on stuff, all this shit. So we chose Immutable there and been with them since forever. And lore is something
Polygon basically told everyone to go to Immutable. There was a point when they were actually shutting down Polygon Gaming, and they literally would hand you over to a Donny at a conference, and he would force you to go to Michelin-starred dinners. And there was just something about, like, I could, after the third Michelin-starred dinner, I got drunk enough to sign, and I was like, if only I hadn't signed, and there would have been another conference season worth of free dinners for me.
But they built on the Ziki EVM stuff anyway, so I think that was a mutual agreement. Hey, we don't want to do gaming anymore. Can you guys take over? And for us, it was a natural fit. I like the Ferguson brothers as well, and like they have 500 games now. I don't want to chill Immutable. I love them, but for lore, we're working on it, but it's not that easy. Like, first you need to build a game where you can throw in all the lore and all the stuff. Like, we have an actor, Enginata Dusatan, like, we have historical stuff. We implemented an AI agent where you can ask, like, what happened during Ottoman Empire and all that kind of things. But you need gameplay to like bring in lore, like to tell a story, and that's
a lot of work.
Time. Like, we are by far not feature ready. Like, we have the core loop. How can you put like all the info that you want to transport there if you don't have the features? And that's, I think, in most cases, the only game that I think has that kinda is Space Nation, because they have Roland Emmerich as well, and they build like a story around that. They have a comic. Wacme Games is trying really good because they build like with their comics and stuff. So there are certain games that try to do that, but most of the games are Ponzi's or like next finish games, shooter games where you don't need a story. I mean, not every.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that. Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare 1, 2, 3, bro. Genuinely.
Yeah, what's wrong with a bit of lore?
Exactly.
A little bit.
It's a little bit of lore, it's good.
Okay,
you know?
I don't want to throw like a ratchet into your wheel, but let's go back to like when League of Legends was being developed. It had absolutely no lore, massive community, and they realized that they needed to create something to create that connection. And then at that like moment, they were like, okay, light bulb, need to put lore, need to start building, things that people can relate to.
Exactly, and their lore,
right? That's what I mean.
Exactly, but their lore is so good that they made Arcane, which is a fucking great series, and inspired a bunch of people.
But I remember when it used to be utter garbage.
Wasn't the lore just stolen from Warcraft?
Kinda.
Potentially, yeah. It was at the start. I mean,
because it went Warcraft 3.
The map was
the mod, then to Dota, and then to League. But the characters were all very similar.
Yeah, no, that was definitely it. But I mean, if you look at what they've actually done with the lore now, it just goes to show that the lore is actually almost as, if not more valuable than the franchise. Like, Arcane was incredibly powerful hit on Netflix. And it was like one of the few animes that was like a Western animation that I've actually sat down and I could stomach, because most of them, there's something uncanny and off about them. And then just make me slightly like ick. But that one, Western style animation, that was actually surprisingly good. Bit of a weird ending. Not going to spoiler it, but apparently that's canon now. So enjoy that.
I think that it's lore. It's like Easter eggs and things like that. It's those things that like are just more than is required to ship product. That's what I want to say. I want to be able to go around a corner knowing that there shouldn't be something there, and then there's something there, and I'm like, yay! Someone thought about putting some random thing there. or just more than just a linear game where you pay money to go faster.
I mean, one of the things is, right, if you've been playing games like all your life, like me, and you played RPGs, like you'll know that if you walk into a house and it's a fancy house, there'll be a chest behind the stairs, or there'll be a pot behind the stairs, or a barrel to break behind the stairs. There has to be a fucking thing to break behind the stairs.
Yes.
If you do not put one there, you're an asshole of a game developer. Like, I mean, that is just, it's true. It's like when you have those like beautiful scenery and you have invisible walls, you'll just about cope with that if that's a really an RPG thing where the combat's kind of staged. But my God, if you fuck up with the invisible walls and then you have jumping puzzles in a non-jumping game, I kill you. It's like you either one or the other, guys. And I'm still going to rant about the horror games being set on cliffs because they can't work out other good places to go and they just don't want to make enough level. It's like, oh, look at the view. It's like, yes. Yeah, it's another RPG on floating islands in the crystal world. It's like they can guarantee you that everyone will go onto floating islands in the crystal world, platforms in the sky, floating island games, because you don't have to do as much work on the scenery. Come on, man.
Did you just describe Legend of Zelda? Like that was the one that came out on the Switch. Like
that was like Legend of Zelda copy and paste.
Yeah.
But Tears of the Kingdom, we cried.
I think all game developers in Web3 need to play Stanley Parable.
Yeah, good game.
Because that's like the definition of story, allows the community and the players to be able to kind of picture it and create their own stories as well. Because that's one of the things that like League of Legends did so well is you have a very small baseline of a story and you allow your community to think and to create their own stories around these characters as well, which is why like League of Legends and Valorant, like they have such strong fans from a character standpoint alongside the gameplay standpoint, even though there isn't, except League of Legends now, but 10 years ago there wasn't a huge amount of lore, and in Valorant there isn't a huge amount of lore, but it's the developers have written page one and have given the script to the community to finish the rest.
I mean, that's kind of good. I mean, there are a few games where you kind of feel disappointed when you discover the lore. Magic the Gathering, I was like enjoying the card game. Then I read the lore. I was like, oh God, I just want to be sick in my mouth. And that was coming from playing the more recent sets. I'm sure it was probably better back in the day. But it was just weird, badly written. Looked like fan fiction written by a 14-year-old. And I was like, that's not how you do lore. And according to Magic the Gathering fans, that isn't how you do lore. But then again, Magic the Gathering fans hate fucking everything, especially each other and especially Magic the Gathering. So yeah, you can get it wrong on lore as well. I know that Mass Effect had its fair share of issues, and we politicized, I think, lore and characters so much in this space now. I think a lot of games are actually just scared a little bit to do lore and stories, because normally games were like one of the envelope pushing kind of things. Like, I remember it was like Abe's Odyssey, right, where you were actually food, and there were some really like out there concepts in a lot of games. But now I think people are a little just a bit more. Maybe don't want to do a bit more lore.
They just don't want to spend the time to make the game. That's how you look at like the early
right? You don't want to
the early Tomb Raider games compared to the recent Tomb Raider games. It's gone from being something that used to be a real puzzle that you really had to like try again and again and again before you could get it, and now it's just like making pretty scenery so that you can do a really easy puzzling.
I think there was some Dragon Age game or something where one of the puzzles was shown as just like pick up this thing and move it like 3 centimeters, and it's like that's ridiculous and revolting. That's not a puzzle, that's just an offense, a sort of video gaming offense there. And I do think you've got to decide which way you go, because I remember there were some horribly fiendish levels in the early Zeldas. Like Ocarina had that fucking water temple where you had to constantly put on these iron boots and take them off and adjust things every level and all of that. And then I think that when they did it in the DS version, they put fucking arrows on it. Fuck them. And yes, the dungeon designer, the level designer of that particular dungeon admitted it wasn't his finest work, but a lot of people remember it because it was It was a shared experience. If you've overcome that temple, if you didn't give up on that, and then you got to the other ones and you got to the end of the game, and anyone who didn't was just basically a fucking pussy nerd, as opposed to a regular nerd. I mean, yeah, like I do think, like when it comes down to extraction really is about not having enough care in your game. Like that's where it starts, right? It's where you need to fill the gap in your game and the gap in what your players think of the game with constant money and constant sort of sucking things out. And yeah, I just want to see some better games, you know?
Yeah.
Mic drop.
Dude, I'm pretty bullish on gaming in the East, like Southeast Asia, or just like Asia in general, like China, or like all these places, because their cultures don't try to politicize the content inside the games as much as us as a Western society do. And because of that, they're able to, you know, make games that like just have like good story that like, and like create things creatively without having inhibitions or being scared about it. So yeah, the East, gaming in the East is great.
Black Myth Wukong, one of the greatest example of this theory.
Yep.
You just like the waifu animes jumping around.
Yeah, I was thinking the same.
I mean, that's a +2. Like, you know, I've got my tier list, but that we can do that another day.
Oh no, dude!
At least you can see some
right now.
waifus on the you know, Asian games. In the Western ones, you just see butch iteration of what is supposed to be a female.
They're killing beauty.
American
killing
is
beauty.
bringing it back right now, but I don't want to get into the book.
I'm trying to bite my tongue.
But I like the direction where this is going again. So
I know it's funny. Like I was actually playing Dragon Quest XI with my daughter, and in the Dragon Quest series, I don't know if any of you know this, but there's a running joke called Puff Puff. Which is basically, as far as it's sort of been translated, it's that someone comes up and they put your face in their tits, and you sort of like motivate them, and that's what they call Puff Puff. And there are Puff Puff parlors, there's Puff Puff, and even the enemies, like these succubus kind of bat enemies, they do Puff Puff on you, and then you get little hearts above your head, and it shows this like glorious scene of like nature and hearts and everything, and you're like. And like the characters,
Isn't that
like
supposed to be like motorboating or something like that?
exactly, it is, and they have like you can get achievements for going to various Puff Puff places, and this is through all of the games. Like no matter what sort of Dragon Quest, there will always be some sort of Puff Puff in the game.
Final Fantasy, the online version, I've heard that they have brothels, you know, with like. So I'm not surprised.
Oh, that's hilarious. But, I mean, one of these was a quest where you actually had to get a bunny suit and then dress one of the female characters in the bunny suit and stand by this old guy so that he could appreciate like what his first love looked like. And then the lady's like just pissed with him and walks off. It's quite funny.
Earth from Another Sun has a strip club in their game, and you need to have like 20k credits in order to get there, like somewhere in space with your space credits and everything. I haven't been there because you need to earn the credits in order to go there. But if you look at games like Second Life, I mean, the red light district was always the one where the most money was made. And if you look lately in Web3, did you see Virtuals like putting out AI sex agent kind of things and everything? Like there was a huge shitstorm for that. So
I mean, they got in a shitstorm for it, but Elon just fucking did it with
Elon
Annie.
beat everybody to the punch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy, right? Like the smut that little animated animated creature can say, it's unbelievable. Like I don't think it has any limits on the amount of horrific shit that it's able to actually say to people, which I think is hilarious. But you know,
have y'all seen Stellar Blade? Now that is an innovation of our century, and we need to study that.
Stellar Blade, all right. I'm going to regret looking this up, aren't I?
No, it's just good physics.
Okay, now I already know.
Is the jiggle physics or general physics?
You know, listen. Let's not denigrate. There's literally people who study how to make these physics work. And yeah, okay, Terrace, it's jiggle physics, okay?
I feel like they just took pictures of that looks like a K-pop star.
I know, right?
The faces of actual K-pop girls for this.
Is this the thing that Jonah was playing a little while back on off his timeline?
I don't know. I mean, he had a waifu thing that he was gonna check out.
I know Asmodee.
There's an article on Gamers GG covering exactly the K-pop mentality in games and how big the market can be. Like all those K-pop and waifu stuff. Like I think there's huge potential.
Also,
huge.
Terrace, I
potential
gotta. There is Terrace. Also, I gotta say, I love your profile picture on Steam. You'll know what I'm talking about.
Hell yeah, I love the jiggle physics too.
Looks a bit like Bayonetta.
Want to deny it? Yes, I have a big boobed anime chick on my Steam profile, and it jiggles every time I go to the page. I get to get a little jiggle. I have fun with it. I don't care.
A man of culture, you are.
Why not?
It looks like Bayonetta, but K-pop version.
Bayonetta was a good game.
Yeah, it was actually a really good game.
There's one shooter game that I always get on TikTok where the lady has a huge ass, like really huge, and whenever I see that, I get stuck there, and I look like, okay. So I mean, for a UA
your algorithm gets affected by that as well.
Yeah, UA perspective. I mean, look at Sydney Sweeney. I mean, it works. You get people in who.
Yeah, but Sydney Sweeney lost to a cute salaryman girl. Office girl. Did you see that?
What was that?
But she has good genes.
It was basically someone just put her thing like there was a very controversial jeans advert with Sydney Sweeney, but someone just basically put this
good
thing.
genes. She has amazing genes.
No one's gonna complain about that. They can listen to the recording, and they're probably only in the other room. So good for us. But anyway, going back to this whole thing was like someone put a picture of a post which was like, choose well, Western man. It was Sydney Sweeney and this one lass, like as a just a normal salary girl, and she won by a lot because apparently the geeks on the internet much prefer a small smiling Japanese girl than Sydney Sweeney for some reason. Enough said about that. The better. Moving swiftly on. Actually, I'm gonna start wrapping this up because we have a very important meeting to go to in precisely 3 minutes. So I'm going to give everyone the mic and say, have we learned today is all we need in Web3 games is boobs. Is that where we're coming?
It helps.
Law. So it started at like extracting from the community.
Little is definitely appreciating this one.
And then boobs.
Oh, I'm an appreciator for sure. Let there be no doubt.
Okay, so we've solved the crisis in Web3 gaming. We just need hotter chicks.
More boobs.
More boobs physics, and then the money will flow.
We need the double O's, man. We need the double O's. Boobs and booties.
Yeah, so we're going to have Warp Waifu Simulator. And that's going to then go into, it looks like now that our node concierges will have to be hot anime waifus. So
that's what we have planned.
Oh, I'm glad we have that planned.
Oh, sorry, I say I.
So is this going to be like the more expensive the node, the less they wear?
I don't know. I'm sure we can get them to rub it a little bit, get users to do something to
please stake me.
Stimulate it.
Oh, I feel so good. I validate you every day.
Yeah.
Everyone needs validation.
Validate the validators.
Yeah, it's all good. Well, on that note, I have to run. So I'm going to love you and leave you. And leave you with the thoughts. It's no cap. We never lie, but we might be wrong.
Yeah. Big space next week, though, Matt.
Oh yeah,
all the games.
Oh, all the games, many games. Not all the games, but some of the games are coming from Warp to talk about Warp, and it'll be the first reveal of games on Warp. Yeah, it's going to be good, and it's not all my game. No, there's lots and lots of different games, and so it's going to be exciting. And peace out, everyone.
See you then.
Ciao, ciao.
Cheers, everyone. Oops.
You can be,
It's.
you can cry.